Hello, welcome to the Lone Show. I'm your host, John Malone, and in this episode, I've brought on regular Eric Taylor. And as for our guest, she's from Denver, Colorado. She's an intuitive life coach and best-selling author. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Angela Langhart.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you for the great introduction. It's great to be here.
Anytime. Yeah, great. It's great for you to be here too. So, how's life?
It's good. Colorado is beautiful.
Great. And have you been up to much recently?
Have I been up to much? Well, I'm trying to push my book, The Trigger the Wonder Horse, into becoming a motion picture. So that's always, a project that's kind of never ending right now. And I teach a lot of classes, intuition classes, self-help classes. So that keeps me busy as well.
Okay, fabulous. And tell me more about what you do.
Well, I'm a life coach, and I'm an intuitive life coach, meaning that I read energy. So it's the energy around the body because we are energetic beings. We're more than just this human form. We have so much. We're compiled of cells and electromagnetic energy, and we give off vibrations. And so I teach people how to raise their vibration and help them also navigate their way through life when we have challenges that come up. It's always a good idea to consult someone, I think, that has a neutral point of view, that isn't invested in your story, and so to help get the results that you want.
Okay. So what kind of readings have you done with your clients?
What kind of readings do I do? So as an intuitive, I sense their energy. So I read from I sense their physical body. We have a physical body, we have an emotional body, a mental body, and a spiritual body. And, when anything that's ever happened to us gets caught in this energy field, the electromagnetic field that's around the body, which we all have, we begin to replay stories over and over again and create the same outcomes. So, being an intuitive, or AKA psychic, I can read energy, and I often get messages from beyond. So, it's all energy. It's from people that have passed, that crossed over to animals, to our subconscious minds. So I do a lot. All that information is available on my website on how I do what I do. But I've been doing it for 20 years.
Wow, amazing.
Okay. When you were saying reading, I was like, wait, it sounds like he's just a psychic reader. And like you just answered my question. I was gonna ask if you were a psychic reading because like you were talking about reading so fast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I change the words depending on which audience I'm in front of, but yeah, what it comes down to is I'm psychic, I'm intuitive, clairvoyant is another word. I'm just very in tune, and I grew up on a farm in Montana, and I lived in Mother Nature, so I just learned how to observe nature and animals, and reading the signs of the weather, and I think that kind of deepened my connection with the spiritual realm.
Okay.
Okay.
Hmm,
Okay.
nice. Okay. Cool, cool, cool.
Yeah. Psychic readers are very
Yeah.
interesting.
Well, yeah, a lot of things can come up. When I do readings, um, y- you know, when somebody comes into my office, or we do Zoom calls, or just telephone calls, people usually have an agenda or have a question, which I always, you know, uh, ask that you have some sort of questions before we begin. So I have a structure of where you want to go and what you want to accomplish. But then there's always, those messages that come through, and it's usually loved ones that have crossed over. And when I say loved ones, I'm even meaning your dog or your cat or possibly your horse that's crossed over, because they're all energetic beings and they communicate like we do. I usually get my messages in visions, so I see pictures, but sometimes I hear audible words as well. And that's what I really wrote my book about. My books are my connection with spirit, and how I've helped people, how I've helped, how I've navigated my own way through life, how I've overcome challenges. And this is me, this is my authentic self, take it or leave it, pretty much. But yeah, I mean, I've kind of had to prove myself in this realm, and it hasn't been easy, but it's definitely been a journey.
Okay, great.
Okay. Wow.
Nice.
I know I kind of, it's a lot to take in sometimes.
No, it's all making sense. It's pretty straightforward. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, is the work you do mostly in person, or do you do this remotely as well?
It's both. It's whoever wants to come into the office when they're in Denver, that's great, because I also do hands-on healing energy work, but I can do it virtually as well. So the person doesn't have to be on my table or even in my presence, because energy is transferable, and so our thoughts become things, and when we put our energy, our vibration out towards a certain object, they can feel it, right? I mean, you can, I mean, for example, you're thinking about your Aunt Edna one day, and all of a sudden she calls that afternoon, or she calls in 10 minutes. That's the power that I'm talking about. It's just the vibration, and when people are sensitive to it and are able to tune into it, then they can begin to read the energy that's manifesting around them.
Okay, I love that. Yeah.
Do you have any
Yeah.
other questions as far as how to read energy? I mean, do you feel like you're psychic?
Well,
I mean,
no, not really. I mean, but I would like to know how to read energy.
yeah, I would
That
like to
sounds
know that too.
interesting.
Oh, okay. So everyone's intuitive, even men, even guys. You guys are very intuitive. Generally people always say women's intuition, but men are equally intuitive. Um, or that you having that sixth sense. But how I read energy is I first started by really paying attention to my body. So when I teach classes, tell people to pay attention to their body. Like, your body is a vehicle, right? It's like your car. And when you don't put oil or gas in your car, there's little signals that go off, right? There's lights that go off. Well, the body is very similar. And we have aches and pains, or we get a sudden headache, or maybe a cramp all of a sudden. And that is a sign that your body's trying to give you on whether you should keep going the same direction that you're headed, or maybe you should change the trajectory of what you're doing. So I tell people, pay attention to your body. If it feels open, and if you feel expansive, and your heart feels open, and you can love genuinely, you're doing the right thing. But as soon as you become contracted and tight, and maybe you can't breathe, or you're suffocating, that's also your body's wisdom telling you, stop it, go the other way, pay attention. It's a warning signal. So everybody has got the warning signals, but it's whether or not you do something about it and you follow through. So that's all about trust, and then learning how to trust those innate signs that your body gives you.
Okay, all right, that's cool. And when you do these readings, what are the signs that indicate someone's mood or vibe?
Well, I mean, if somebody's sitting in front of me, if someone is all of a sudden crosses their legs and crosses their arms, and kind of leans away from me, that's telling me that they really don't want to be read. They really don't want help. For whatever reason, they're just showing up. But because you're closing your body off. But so I mean, you could start with body language. That's a great way to tell what people are actually thinking, because that's all subconscious. If you learn how to read people's eyes, the eye movement, whether they go look up or whether they look down or side to side, when you ask them a question, you can tell pretty easily if they're lying or not.
Okay.
Okay.
It's kind of like, you're learning how to be a lie. They're a walking lie detector. Everybody is.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. I'm a terrible liar. Yeah, that's why I try to mostly tell the truth because I know I'm not good at lying.
Yeah,
I can lie
and
about small.
your
I can,
body language gives it off.
yeah. So has there ever been any instance? Has there ever any? I can't speak today.
I know
Um,
what you're saying. Yeah.
has there been any instances where like you sensed an energy inside of someone that wasn't really their energy but came from somewhere else?
Um, I wouldn't phrase it that way. I would say that energy can attach to certain people, and you can carry that energy in with you. So, I mean, I think you're maybe talking about channeling a little bit, or if an entity got in you. I do believe that that can happen. Yeah, I mean, I do. Um, but I don't work in that I don't work with that type of energy. That's pretty dark and heavy, and I mean, I have before, but I don't choose to work in that field. But I do know that it's very real, and anyone who messes with that is in for a rude awakening. So, I'm an advocate for standing in the light and calling in, God and the angels and having that protection around you. Because energy can, there's a light and there's a dark to anything. Just like there's a yin and the yang, there's the light and the night and the day. There's a good and the bad to everything. So just always be sure you are in integrity and standing in the light and being an overall good person.
All
Oh,
right.
okay.
Cool. Do you ever travel often?
Do I travel often? Um, yeah, I've traveled around the world. I studied quite a bit in China and Thailand, and I love to scuba dive. So I've been all over the Caribbean islands and Hawaii, um, Mexico. So I love to dive. I love the sea world, and I also love to study, alternative medicine, meditations, prayer. So I try to go to that specific culture, whatever it is that I'm learning, and try to immerse myself in that environment.
All right. That's cool. So, is there any place around the world you haven't been to, but you really want to go there?
I would love to go to Costa Rica. I've yet to go there. I would like to teach a workshop there sooner than later. So, maybe that's my next destination.
All right. Great. So, if your mind was an island, what would it look like?
If it was an island, what would it look like? Well, hopefully it would be calm seas, or calm waves. Hopefully there would be some, seashells on the beach, uh, and maybe a couple sea lions, and people enjoying themselves. So I like to think that my island would be pretty calm and serene, and anything that represents that. Also a big bonfire, because I'm all about fire and the alchemic process. So definitely need a big fire pit on that island.
That's nice.
Okay. So, what's the weirdest thing that's ever happened to you?
Well, you can't ask that. You can't ask me that question, because my life's a series of weird events. But I mean, I don't even know where to begin. I've written a book about my God experiences, and those would be probably pretty odd to most people. And that's just my life. I mean, how spirit shows up, how my life has been pretty ordained to do what I do. So yeah, I don't think I live a very a conventional life or a traditional life. It's been, I definitely have had my own path and my own troubles, and tribulations, but it's all about reinventing yourself. It's about healing yourself, and then getting comfortable in your own skin. And I'm there now. So, but it took years, years of practice, years of tools, and learning what makes up the mind, body, and spirit.
Okay,
Okay.
fabulous. So, have you written any books recently?
Yeah, I have 2 books. A Charm Journey, a personal guide to or a guide to personal transformation, and Trigger the Wonder Horse. So they're both bestsellers, and they're available on Amazon.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, tell me more about those 2 books, because I'm very interested to know.
A Charm Journey is my memoir. So I wrote that pretty much while I was homeless. And, it was all about how it's why we're here in learning our life's purpose, but overcoming life's lessons. I mean, we're all here to master aspects of ourselves, whether it's, forgiveness, acceptance, judgment, resilience. So you have to really understand who you are as a very deep person. Otherwise, you live a very superficial life. And so that's what the first book is about. And the second book, Trigger the Wonder Horse, is about my horse and miracles. I'm definitely a firm believer in prayer and meditation and angels and or or angels and God. And I mean, I write true stories. So if anybody needs a dose of hope, I say check out my books, because that's why I did what I did. Did what I had to do so I could help people and hopefully inspire them to change their ways or keep going, whatever it may be.
Oh, that's a very good resume of author noir, or whatever they call it in France. But yeah, it's really good actually. Yeah, I love it. So, what's your favorite food?
My favorite food.
Yes.
I I like steak and lobster. I love dessert, so I love all foods. I've traveled, I've been to France, and I love the French, and the foods there, the sauces and the pastries, and I love American food too. I love burgers. I love Thai food, and with spring rolls and things like that. So it's all. I don't think I have a favorite of anything. I kind of enjoy it all.
All right. Okay, that's great.
I
If
love
you
shrimp.
Oh, okay, cool. I love shrimp too. Yeah, nice. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
I'm not quite sure. I mean, I love Colorado right now. I would probably live close to a beach, because I love the water, but I don't want to get too far away from the mountains either. So if I could find a happy medium between the mountains and the water, that would probably be my place.
Yeah, I do love it, that kind of balance. Rocky Mountains and the nice white sandy beaches. It's
Yeah.
it's 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 just perfect, you
Definitely.
know? Oh yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I just personally want a house that I don't know. I just want to stare up at the stars. Anywhere I could stare up at the stars, it'd be great. Whether if it's on the roof or
Yeah.
on the beach, doesn't matter. I also want
Yeah.
an
I mean,
ATV.
have you ever ridden an ATV or been on one?
Nope, but I want to
Okay. Okay.
someday.
What's your favorite season?
My favorite season. Probably the fall. I love the transition, and the fall is all about change and transformation. So when people have to, you shed your skin, and you kind of go within, and that's an opportunity for rebirth. So I think that's the season of fall would probably be my favorite. But I also love spring, because spring is about new growth. So it's probably one of the two.
Okay, great choices. What's the best way to start the morning?
Uh, well, I don't know. I can't say the best way to start the morning for you, but the best way to start the morning for me would, I get up. I don't just set my alarm and jump out of bed. That isn't how I live. I actually sleep with the curtains open or the blinds open, and I get up to the natural sunlight, and um, I say some meditations or prayers before I get up. Or I definitely try to make it that a point, and make a conscious effort of what I'm going to do that day before I start a busy day of nothingness. So I try to get up in the morning and conscious of what I'm going to do, and I always say some prayers, and then I drink coffee and maybe do a few yoga poses, and then do whatever's on my schedule.
Okay. Fabulous.
Wow. You said you sleep. You said you wake up to the natural sunlight. I'm not gonna lie. The moment the sun shines on me, I put the cover right back over my face.
Yeah, like I said, not I can't speak for anyone else except for me, but it also depends. I go to bed super early. Like I'm in bed by 8:30 or 9 at night. I enjoy sleep. I like to sleep. I like my bed. Sleep is so important for the body and health. So many people don't get enough sleep these days, and then they wonder why they're sick and they're tired all the time, and the body hasn't had an opportunity to rejuvenate itself. So of course you're going to be sick. So when people start to get sick and run down, I always ask, how many hours of sleep did you have that night? And if you haven't had at least 5 or 6 at the minimum, you haven't recovered. Your body hasn't recovered from the day before.
Yeah, that's true. I'm actually trying to go to bed. I'm actually trying to go to bed early. Like,
Yeah,
cause it's like
yeah,
I don't know. Like for one, I actually do like waking up early before everyone else. Just I That's just the main. That's just one of the reasons why I want to go to bed early because I like waking up before everyone else. Like, cause
yeah.
it's
And
quiet.
you can get a lot of stuff done too.
Yeah, yeah, that
Yeah.
too. Like, yeah, I can get a lot of stuff done, and it's just generally quiet. I like
Hmm.
quiet.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah. Absolutely. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
No, no, it isn't.
Okay.
I can't even expand on that. The answer is no.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. I respect
Yeah,
that.
no, just no.
No. You need some lettuce, or you need a tomato, or you need some onions and some, I don't know, avocado. Yeah, no, I don't know what it is. A hot dog's just a hot dog.
Yeah, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Exactly. What was the biggest risk you've taken?
Peter, your questions. Um, again, like probably I walked out of a relationship with $10 to my name, and I said, "Kiss my ass. I'm going to start my life over," and that's what I did.
All right.
Hmm,
Right. Yeah.
wow, that's a really
Nice.
big.
Well, you
That's
asked.
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
really big risk. Hey, once you spend that
That
ten
is a
dollars, it's all over.
Yeah, and that's when I started. That's when I began writing my book, A Charmed Journey. That's why I'm saying you need to read it. You need to check it out on Amazon and have it
Yeah.
fly to Manchester. You can give it away to your friends and spread my and help me share my message.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Do you like spicy food?
Yeah, I do. I actually had Mexican food tonight, so I don't mind it.
Mm. Okay. Nice. Nice. I do love a bit of spicy food once in a while. But I
I don't.
do. I mean, I do crave spicy food. Even if it kills me,
Mhm.
I still want spicy food. It's just like, oh, it's so good, you know. But
That's
yeah.
that's funny. I don't. I don't know. It depends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Depends. Depends. It happens.
Is this conversation recorded?
Oh yes, it's all recorded.
Oh, okay. And are you going to? I mean, are you just going to play it as is, or are you
Yeah.
editing
I'm,
it?
I mean, I might do some editing, but I'm just gonna leave a lot of what's been said as it is. And yeah,
Oh, okay. Okay.
yeah, it's really good though. This conversation is amazing.
Okay.
Oh yeah. So
Wonderful.
fabulous. I mean, in terms of writing, are you planning on writing any more books?
Yeah, I mean, I plan on writing a children's series and probably another book if I get a contract, more self-help books. So definitely gonna continue that path.
Okay, nice. And that's all we have for this episode. It was great having you here, Angela, talking about your work as an intuitive life coach, the books you've written, and everything else. It's been amazing.
Great. Thank you so much.
Anytime. And until next time, stay tuned for more.